Yes. It's Saturday and it's 10:30 in the morning on the West Coast. So it must be that spin that back show. What's up, Mr. Nice Guy?
What's going on, infamous El Poo? What it do?
We gonna spin that back. That's what we gonna do. Check it out. It's me and Mr. Nice Guy. It's always me and Mr. Nice Guy. We ain't got nobody else here today, but you know what? It's gonna be a special show anyway, though. We're gonna be talking about the legendary Rakim today. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at with him? There you go. Actually, we're gonna talk about Eric B. and Rakim. In fact, let's put him up there. Eric B. and Rakim. That's what we're talking about today. The legendary Eric B. and Rakim. And for those that don't know, this is the Spin That Back show, and we talk about hip hop from the inception of the records to the golden age. So we go from 79 to 99. This is mainly what we talk about. And the reason why we actually was going to talk about Rakim today, well, Eric B. and Rakim, but just Rakim in particular, is because it was a rumor that T-Pain supposed to have said that Rakim should stop rapping. And we was like, what? We had a debate about that. In fact, how you feel about that, Mr. Nice Guy? Should Mr. Rakim stop making albums?
Yeah, I thought it was a ridiculous position to take. It's like, look, if you're not interested, then you stay out of it. Don't be sitting there trying to regulate for the rest of us. Because I'm very interested to hear what Rakim has got to say. I love it when these cats from our time put something out here like Tribe did or Busta did. I can't wait to see what Rakim do. Nas is still putting in work. So I'm very interested in awaiting what he's going to be doing. And again, you never stop. It never cuts off in your head. And as long as the product is good, I'm all for it. So that's what's up.
Spin that back one time. And I'm gonna say it like this: as long as they not talking about murder rap and stuff like that, I think they should mature. If you're gonna drop an album, if you one of these old schoolers, and I'm gonna tell you, Rakim is old school, straight up. You can't deny that. I mean, he old school for today's time because it is where it is, and his audience ain't gonna be these new people for the most part. His audience is gonna be people our age, people that's 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s. It's older audience. Another thing I would say is this too. He's not going to sell platinum status at this point because, like I said, he don't have that fan base of the young ears. I mean, if he does, that's a good thing. I mean, I'm rooting for him. I wish he would. And the other thing is, there was a Method Man that made a comment saying he'll never perform at Summer Jam again. Did you see that clip about him and Redman that was on stage and got booed,
I'm
or really
glad you
didn't get no reaction?
I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to bring it up for this very same reason. You got to know your audience. You got to know your crowd. You can't go to the Grand Ole Opry and think that you're going to do hip hop and that it's going to, it's going to go over. It's just not going to rock like that. So, you got to rock with your crowd. I always think about Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was a dude who was a hardcore grunge dude. He was in the hardcorest, stuff like that, performing in these little dives in Seattle or whatever, whatever that stuff was coming from. And he hated the fact that they blew up so big, and now that all these other people were coming to his venues, and now he had to perform in front of these big crowds. He loved being in those little sort of like hole in the wall with just some hardcore grunge people. And I'm just saying that it's okay to get yourself into an audience of us and people that appreciate you. And trust me, if Meth got a bunch of people like our age and stuff like that, that it's gonna be cracking when he gets to doing those songs. So you just got to know your audience, your lane, and rock your lane. Do what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just what it is. With these cats that was making records in the 80s and 90s, what they need to do is get a old school tour going, and make sure they sell out the venue for people that's coming to actually see their music. You can't blend with these people that's 20, 21, 22. It ain't gonna mix. It's just they ain't gonna get it. Their time of hip hop is way different than what we was listening to. We was into lyrics and the whole b-boy thing, just hip hop. It was more hip hop. Now it's more just rap. It's just they kind of minimalized the hip hop, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's all. That's our old school. That's my old school take on it.
And we're still living in a post-COVID world. I just don't. Even the movie theaters have never really recovered since COVID. So it's just how it is. You just got to find your lane to rock. The whole reason that on Instagram, the only reason I got an Instagram is because Big Daddy Kane said I'm gonna do a concert for free on Instagram. I signed up that day. So that's what's up.
Spin that back one time. I didn't, man. That got you into Instagram,
Yeah,
man.
it's literally I
Yeah.
don't post on it. I don't hardly do anything, but it was because in order for me to watch that, I remember when De La Soul, when rest in peace Dave, when he was still here, they were announcing that they finally got their rights back to all of their music, and they were trying to do an Instagram announcement, and they couldn't even figure out how the tech was and stuff like that. So they spent like 30 minutes, and I'm sitting there on Facebook talking about go grab a kid, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Something, but still. But I mean, that's why I got it. And it's my connection to a lot of these hip hoppers, a lot of people from our lane that do our stuff and they're still putting in that work to this day. So salute to the soldiers that are still fighting the battle that still needs to be fought.
Yes, sir. But let's go. Let's not spend too much time on that. I'm interested in hearing some new music from Rakim. I'm still a fan, and uh, one thing I can say is let's get back into the fold of it. Rakim has been one of the most influential rappers of all time. Can I get an amen on that? Yes, we can. There you go. Spin that back.
Amen. Absolutely. You talking about a time when everybody was screaming and yelling. He reminded us that there was a whole, or I say he either made us aware or reminded us that there was a whole nother lane to go with rapping.
Well, the story when Marley Marl and your boy Shan was recording them, they was kind of laughing behind his back, like this shit ain't gonna work. Nigga ain't even got no energy.
Yeah.
Like same thing. Actually, same thing happened with Drew Down and I think it was Too Short and I can't think of the name of the producer that actually did that. Mike, I forgot his name. Either way, they was talking about the same thing. Well, Drew Down with that play of the year, they was like,
Mhm.
this shit ain't gonna work, but it blew up. That one song. But when Rakim stepped into the arena in what 86,
Yeah.
Eric B as president and my melody changed the world. Spin that back.
Now, these songs were produced by Marley Marl and Shan. I know that Eric B has a different take on it. I saw him saying that, that they didn't produce anything. He's the one that brought the records in there. But then in the exact same comments, he says, I just didn't know how to program the stuff. So basically, you didn't produce it. I understand that there's looping and sampling and all of this stuff, but you got to understand when you produce something, you're talking about sequencing. You're talking about you go watch YouTube and Marley Marl explain things like ghost notes. There's all type of producer flavor that you put all over something that impacts the how a song turns out. Word to Quincy Jones, it's disrespectful for him to even say that type of stuff. As I understand it, MC Shannon was the one that literally played the like My Melody music. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, give respect to the pioneers that did what they did. And even if they didn't have the foresight to understand the vision that you guys had, they were still a part of it. And they understand now that you guys did something amazing.
Okay. That's like saying, look, we finna build a house. I'm gonna bring the wood and you gonna actually construct it and put it up and everything. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're the
got you. I
one that's
got you.
doing the building. That's by the way, the builder, that's the producer, not the idea person. But you played a part.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, I done did that too. I mean, a whole lot of people say, "Hey, I want to use this song." Okay, let's take this song. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. I'm gonna loop it up. I'm gonna sequence it. I'm gonna put the drums and everything behind it. I'm gonna put everything else around it, and then you gonna rap on top of it. You didn't produce it. I did. Okay.
Exactly. That's 100% it. And I remember that there was a lot of people that complained about that. We talk about Big Daddy Kane was talking about Marley Marl as well. He's going like, look, I was the one that found all the records, and he says, I understand now when there's more sophisticated production going on, but back then you were just doing loops. But even in those loops, Marley was still lacing the beats. Marley was still doing his trademark samples, this extra stuff that he was adding to it, the sound effects, the backwards lawnmower or blow dryer, whatever it was, still doing Marley stuff that made it a Marley production. But
Yeah.
let's get back to Eric B and Rakim.
Okay. Yes, sir. So they came with that. Eric B as president and my melody, and like I said, it wasn't nothing that sounded like that that I heard.
It was
And it
nuts.
took me a minute. I was young. I was very young at the time, like 13 years old, something like that. And I'm like, I had to, it had to grow on me. But when it caught, it caught. Especially when the album came out and you listen to that whole thing, it was like, this dude right here is ahead of his time. That's the only thing you can think. Like, this dude is, he seemed like he was just better than everybody else. The way he patterned his rhymes was just different.
He was better than everybody else. I mean,
Hmm.
when that album came out, he established himself as the best rapper in the game, period. I mean, he was the best lyricist, the best that dude. And you're talking about Eric B is for president. This is one of them songs that'll get the party going. But this was my favorite song as a DJ to mix. I had all type of routines with Eric B as president. You know what I'm saying? So it's me just thinking about the clap your hands to what he's doing, just everything. I'm in my mind. I'm thinking about the double up, the all of this. It's just, I mean, that was my favorite song to mix as a DJ, as of that pace. Then you might go into the faster pace where you're talking about Hashim, it's time and stuff like that. But as far as that hip hop pace, Eric B for President was that song. Don't give me no two copies of Eric B President and some turntables and see what's gonna be. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yes, sir. So this album here, in fact, let me bring that picture back up. This is where it came from. Paid in Full. This is the first album. If the source was doing the mic, if they was out doing the mics at the time, this would have been 5 mics. Trust me. Everybody agrees to that. Well, do we agree with that?
No, it's just the legend of it. I don't like necessarily every song on there. I definitely don't like Chinese arithmetic, but I mean, to me, its impact and the greatness that it's on it, to me, it's a 5. You definitely, for the time, you know what I'm saying? That was definitely a 5. It just, they went back and gave some people as a 5. They didn't go back and give this one. I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah, but nah, this was, you're talking about my favorite song at the time was As the Rhyme Goes On. That was that at the time that this came out, that was my favorite song. Now looking back on it, I feel like it kind of changes up, but I kind of lean into I Ain't No Joke. I just feel like the combination of the production, the bounce of it, what he does on it, to me, that's the song.
In fact, let's go down the list. First song was I Ain't No Joke. Now when that comes on, you just the beat, boom, ta, doom, doo, doo, ta. It just gets you hyped.
Flavor Flav in the video. you know,
Yes, sir. That right there, that it's just hype. It's perfect. It's the perfect song for the time. That's the first time I heard "Pass the Peas" in a hip hop record. Dun, 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 dun. You've been heard many times after that.
many times.
Eric B is on the cut. That was more just like Eric B kind of cutting up some stuff.
Salute. Let me give
Oh,
him a salute. As a DJ, I love the fact that he had 2 DJ instrumentals on this song.
yep.
He kept
On
doing
this
that
album.
as we're gonna go through these albums. He kept doing that. He kept putting the light on the DJ and just the DJ doing their thing. Cause Run DMC had this with Jay's Game. You know what I'm saying? It was done, but they kept doing it. And salute to Eric B for that.
Hey, spin that back. Yeah, salute to them for that. Number 3, My Melody. Slow, slow the world down with that. Slow the whole world down. And I know you got soul.
Yeah, yep. And just and that was the one I think he got sued for. That was the James Brown sample, I think that really kind of kicked it off.
Yeah, no, you got
I
soul.
think so,
That's
but
Bobby Bird. That's Bobby Bird. Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, it's Bobby Bird. Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
that's one of James Brown's people, of course.
and this is a song that basically Vanessa, I'm about to say Vanessa Del Rio, Vanessa Williams. Let's edit that back again. Starting the live, Vanessa Williams was used for "He's Got the Look." Basically, took Eric
Yeah.
B's Rakim song. They didn't just sample the elements; they took that song.
Oh, for real, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Damn.
no, yeah. They
Spin
took
that
that
back. Spin
song.
that
They
back.
took that, yeah. So
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
that was when R&B started to figure out that these hip
Yeah.
hoppers have way better drums than our little crappy drum machines, and that's when they were like really sort of like coming together and basically redoing our stuff.
Then you got number 5, Move the Crowd. Move the crowd. And you know what? This is probably one of the first times I heard a rapper sampling himself or scratching his own voice.
Hmm.
Well, the group, so there was Eric B scratching Rakim. That was one of the first times I heard people using their own stuff, you know, own records and stuff. Anyway, then you got the infamous "Paid in Full." This that
Thinking of
drum
the
line.
master plan. Oh, there's so many things about this song. Just the way he started off, just everything about that. And then
Um,
where they went with it with the remix, and just, it's just, man.
I keep telling people I didn't like that remix. I didn't like that.
Man, I
Whatever
love
they. I
that.
didn't like
I
that. I
loved it.
did not
I
like
loved it.
that.
I thought it was amazing.
But that drum line, came from a song called Ashley's Roach Clip from a dude from Bustin' Loose. What's his name? Uh, the Go Go dude, DC. Uh,
Oh, oh,
Chuck Brown. Chuck Brown, I think it is.
that sounds right. But I mean, if Brick Walls was here, he'd let us know. He know about that. The Go Go Brothers. That's that Washington D.C. thing.
Yeah, it's that DC for sure. I think it's Chuck Brown. But either way, that song right there has been used. It's just me parts of that song has been used in so much. But that drum line, it comes almost at the end of the, it's playing all the way through. But when it breaks down, it's like, what the fuck? Why didn't nobody use this before this dude right here? Like, why did they
Man,
use everything else in this
uh,
except that drum line? It's like it was
yeah,
crazy. Anyway,
yeah.
then after that, you got as the rhyme goes on.
That was my song. That he just went off. He just went off. He just literally said, "Start it. I'm gonna just go." I don't even think there's a break. It's just like he just goes.
Now let me ask you: did this come or Joe Cooley, Rodney O and Joe Cooley came with Everlasting Bass first? Which one came first?
This is before ever. This I think this is before. I think this was before them. I'm not sure, but if I'm guessing, I feel like yeah, because I remember, Joe Cooley was like really in this the scratching and stuff like that. That was really the mix masters. I feel like that was after this time.
Let's look it up. Let's make sure.
Yeah, he's like, let me speculate. I never even made the connection that it's the same thing because they just kind of played it over till you just said that.
For real?
But yeah, I never even made that connection. As soon as you said that, I'm thinking my first info. Now, why did he make that connection? And then I'm like playing it in my head. It's like I can't see what I can't see, but I can listen to what I'm not hearing. That is an ability that I do have. So I'm sitting there playing, and I go, oh, yeah, I hear the connection. You know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
as the rhyme goes on, man, that just, I mean, he just that was where he really showcased to me that he was the best in the game at that point in time, and he's on my Rushmore the Rushmore of my era. I feel like there's different Rushmores because there's different eras, and you got to respect the different eras. But the Rushmore of my era is Rakim, Coogee Rap, Karis One, and Big Daddy Kane.
Guess what?
What?
Joe Cooley and them came out first.
I guess so. Okay, salute to them brothers then. So they were 85 or something.
No, they was January 1st, 86.
So it was 86. So when was oh well, yeah, the album obviously big Eric B for President came out in 86, so that album probably came out in 87, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I think 87. But either way, yeah, it did. But either way, if it came out the first day of 86, that obviously that takes the cake right there. So
salute to Joe Cooley, Rodney O and Joe Cooley. Joe Cooley, one of my favorite DJs, Mixmaster, K-Day, K-Day Mixmaster DJs of all time. It was just amazing. And I loved how they would integrate, the scratching into the rapping. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was a master at that. Yeah. And then Chinese arithmetic. I mean, I didn't think that was too bad because he was actually doing some transforming and stuff.
Yeah.
He was showing the skills.
As a DJ, I just felt it wasn't up to par. I wasn't trying to hear it. I just shout out to that brother for doing it though. Like again, I love the fact that he had two DJ sort of like instrumentals on the album. But he said that the reason why they did it because the album was rushed. They didn't have a lot of, and that's why he says that there wasn't a lot of lyrics on like as the rhyme goes on and stuff like that. He didn't because they didn't have a lot of time. So there's only so many songs on that album. How many songs are on this album?
10.
Oh, it's 10.
Well, actually about 9, really. 9.
Yeah. I remember it's like a weird number,
Yeah. Then you had Eric B as president, which always threw me off. It's like, why in the hell did they call this Eric B as president?
and it was supposed to be Eric's beat, or they called it Eric's before president. It was supposed to be Eric. Yeah, it was some weird type of dynamic about that. But the version on the album was not good. I hated that they used that version.
Oh, that the way it says, make
Make
them
clap
clap.
to this.
I
I was
hate it.
like,
When he cut out the must have got you too hot and burned off your wings. Yeah,
ah,
that killed me, man. It
yeah.
killed me too.
It's like you got one of the greatest songs of hip hop all time,
Right. And
and
then
you put this.
Rakim didn't really cuss much. And they also took out the part where he said, pull up a chair and I'm gonna tear shit up. It was just
Mhm.
pull up a chair. It just made it
Yes.
echo.
Yeah, I need that whole now clap your hands to what he's doing. Because as a DJ, I'm just telling you, I had so many songs where I scratched the clap your hands and all of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and just mixing it for just juggling with that song. So
For real?
I need all of that. I need all of that.
Well, you know what? You should have got the original song from Mountain. It was a record from a group called Mountain called Long Red. It was the live version.
See, El Pooh, if I'd have known you back in the day, it's like me, you, and brick walls, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah. A lot came from there. You out there.
Yeah.
Louder. That
Yeah.
right there. All that's for clap your hands to what he's doing. On
So yeah.
tempo, Jack. Yeah. That they use for
Yeah.
it ain't hard to tell. Yeah. That's them too. All that for that one little section. Yeah. And there's a hell of a drum line on there too. Anyway, yeah. All right. So that was Eric B. Well, that was Eric B and Rakim Paid in Full album. So then they had the second album that they had. What was the name of that one? Let me see.
Follow the leader.
It was called Follow the Leader. And let me see. I think I got a picture of this one here. Is this the one? Yep, there it is.
That's the one.
Now look at that jacket that they wearing. Eric B and Rakim. Oh my God.
Eric B is rocking the Gucci, and Rakim is rocking the flag of the nation. So yeah, but them brothers were stylish, man. They were stylish on that first album. When you bring up that first album, we should at least address the back of that first album. That back of that first album had a collection of real gangsters. The original 50 Cent is on that album. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, them was some real dudes. The Paid in Full posse or whatever, much respect and salute to them brothers. They were some real gangsters. So, it's like you bring it up. I feel like you almost got to address that, because this picture is like one of the most famous snapshots of history of this collection of dudes. So
I'm gonna have to bring this picture up, bro.
yeah, that's all. I'm trying to fill the time because I can see that you was looking it up.
Yes, sir. I had to bring this one up. I had to bring it up.
So there you go.
And that reminds you of that NWA and the Posse picture.
Exactly. Arabian Night, just all these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Just yeah. So it's exactly that. These were some real dudes. You be very, very respectful around these cats.
Yeah. A lot of them rest in peace too, I think.
Rest in peace. Well, that's the nature of being a real dude. There's other real dudes too. But yeah.
Hey, spin that back. That's the truth.
But back to Follow the Leader.
Yes,
man, I'm gonna let you speak on it, because I got a lot to say about Follow the Leader.
Well, let's run down the list. So number 1, title track, Follow the Leader. How'd you feel about that, bro?
Okay, this song changed my religion. I mean, I'm telling you, I literally wrote like a whole movie based on just an excuse to have this playing in the trailer. This Follow the Leader song, just this startup, how it builds up, how it just escalates from this little part to this little part to this little part. Look, I wasn't the biggest fan of Eric B. I always felt that Eric B was holding Rakim down. That's what I felt back then. And this was a song where I felt like this dude stumbled into a perfect song. It's just, I mean, not only did Rakim kill it, not only is he just going into when he's talking about triple stage darkness and all this other stuff, I mean, the song, every aspect, every sample, every bit of it just comes together just magically. I mean, this is one of my favorite songs, probably my favorite Rakim song.
Okay, Follow the Leader was cool. I really, it was all right. I mean, I loved it when it came out and everything. It wasn't my favorite song on this album, but it was a great song. Now, some crazy stuff about this was, who was that cat? Was it Paul C? Paul C had did a lot of production on this album,
which I
and he
didn't know.
and he actually got killed while this album was being made. Then they brought in a unknown large professor to help finish off the album, and he actually produced some of the songs on there too.
Extra P. So
And
salute to legendary Paul C. Salute to legendary Extra P.
yes, sir, spin that back one time. And Rakim, excuse me, Eric B took a lot of production credit, and it is what it is. I mean,
He
I'm
did.
not saying that he didn't do anything, but I
Yeah.
know some other cats that did a lot of stuff. Then they claim that Eric B took a lot of credit. So that's what they say. I don't know
And
who they are. Somebody.
large professor says that he says that with the Cool G rap album that they produced, that he's saying that he did most of the sequencing on that stuff and that Eric B took the credit for it. So he was mad about Marley Marl. He brought records to Marley Marl, and Marley Marl sequenced it and stuff like that. And he was mad for Marley Marl taking credit, and when somebody else was sequencing stuff like that, he wasn't trying to give him no credit. So that's the flip side of it.
Well, Big Daddy Kane. It's a debate to be had on this. Big Daddy Kane produced Smooth Operator, right?
He did the whole second album. The whole second album. I won't say he did the whole of it, but he executive produced everything. He took control of that. Marley Marl maybe produced one song on the second album. He had Prince Paul produce something on there. He had Teddy Riley produce something on there. But from the second album on, that was Big Daddy doing his thing. But the first album, that was Marley Marl sequence and all of that stuff. Even though Big Daddy came in, brought him maybe the samples, maybe he brought him the meters, maybe he brought him whatever, the Ain't No Half Stepping sample, you know what I'm saying, which was a great find. Okay. I mean, that's a legendary song.
But here's the difference. So he bought the records and everything, and somebody else actually, did all the production work in a sense, but he knew exactly how he wanted it to be laid out. So is that producing because you can't work the equipment, but you tell them exactly how you want it?
It's an arrangement. It is absolutely a level of producing. If you are playing without your component, that song doesn't end up like it ends up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like, for example, with Brick Walls. Brick Walls, the one that gave LL Cool J that Michael Jackson sample from "Lady in My Life" that he used for the song, his biggest single ever with Boyz II Men. They were in the studio together. And he was producing a female group that LL Cool J was producing a female group, and Brick Walls brought him that record to use for a song they were doing. They didn't end up going forward with that. He ends up using that and clearing it himself and using it on his own song. So technically, Brick Walls didn't produce that, but he gave him that idea, and he probably should have got compensated for it. Okay, because that was a big part of that song.
But back in like 1990, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. We in the studio with a producer. He had his own studio out here in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm not going to say his name. But we making records. So he actually made a beat on something. He had a beat going, but we didn't like the bass line. So we was like, let's change the bass line. We was trying to think of a bass line. I was like, okay, let's use a slide. So we use slide. Doom, doom, doom. Okay, we use that bass line, right? And then it came to another part where, we needed something else. So we going through records. So these was his records. I never heard of them. We had used like a Tower Power sample, for instance, some little horns, and it went in. And I was like, okay, use this and put it right here. We had tried to use some other horns from Parliament. It didn't work. But for some reason in the sequence, the little Parliament part just had this one little hit that stayed, in there at certain points. And it was like, oh shit, that sounds cool. Keep it. So all this was all my ideas. So I feel I was producing too.
You was. You're contributing to how it's coming together. And I know about that because I know how, if these young people don't know nothing about polyphony, but this was a problem that we had to deal with back in the day, that you could only have so many things playing at a time, and you sequence something and then something weird would happen polyphony wise, and you'd be like, wait a second, that sounds kind of dope how that worked out. It's like chopping itself, you know what I'm saying? But but back to Eric being Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back to we can talk about production and stuff. It's all relevant.
It's all relevant. It's all relevant.
Because everybody, I'm telling you something else. Something else y'all don't know about Simpty. Be glad that you won't have to work with something like that. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, for real,
Your
for
time
real.
codes and stuff. You
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
you
Oh
ain't gotta
man,
worry
this
about that
man.
stuff
Whew,
these
yeah,
days.
yeah.
Okay,
I know.
so then the next number 2 was Microphone Fiend.
Whew,
Now, that was
it's
the
right
one.
up there. It's right up there. I mean, to me, these are arguably the two greatest songs in his whole discography. Microphone Fiend and Follow the Lead. For me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's got some amazing stuff, but those two songs are like right up there for me. I mean, I know that Brick Walls, I think that was his favorite song on this album. So we used to have those debates.
Yeah, even the video was just dope. And you know what? The production on here on this song to me is not even that great. When you listen to it today, it's like, oh, it could have been much better. You know.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. That's the problem. This was really sample driven.
Mm-hmm.
It was sample driven and it was MC driven as far as what Rakim. And that's why I wasn't a big fan of Eric B's production. I felt like Eric B was holding them back. End of the day, I'm not saying that now. We're gonna get to. In order to prepare for this show, I had to go back and listen to discographies and stuff like that. So I have a different take than I had back then. But we'll get to that. But you know, I'm just letting you know.
Now I'm gonna say this: I love Rakim. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. But this album, I don't remember everything off this album. It wasn't one of my greatest albums from him. Lyrics of Fury. I know it's a great song. I don't remember it offhand. I gotta listen to it, to get back into the groove of it. Then number 4, Eric B. Never Scared.
This is one of those DJ songs.
Yep.
So Well, actually, was it? Yeah, because I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it is because Rakim ain't said Eric B. ain't never scared. He ain't said
Yeah.
that. Then Just a Beat. This was another one that was just I think it was just instrumental. Then it was number 6 was Put Your Hands Together. I don't remember that one either. Number 7, To the Listeners. Can't remember it. No Competition was number 8. Don't remember it. Number 9 was called The R. I remember that one.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was being quiet because I was like, "You're gonna remember this one. This one was different. This one was hidden. This is like yeah." But with that, I remember Tone Loc used the same kind of thing, doing it with doing After Dark or something like that. A lot of the same stuff. But
Loked After Dark.
Loked After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
So Again, I didn't think that this was a very strong album. To me, this album was really the foundation of this album was the first 2 songs. And to me, that was justification. I remember when I had to go to a trip to San Francisco, and I remember it felt like this album and Salt and Pepper's second album dropped at the same time. And I just remember basically playing them back and forth and stuff like that. But the strength of this album was really the first 2 songs. Follow the Leader and Microphone Fiend.
I'm gonna tell you why this album kind of fell to the wayside for me is because by this time Eazy-E was out and I'm listening to Eazy-E constantly. Okay, then it was Musical Massacre, which is number 10, then number 11, Beats for the Listener. So that's the second album. That was their sophomore album. Then they had another album in wait a minute.
Yeah, this is was Let the Rhythm Hit Him.
Yeah, Let the Rhythm Hit Him. I forgot what year this is. I won't even have the year. I think this was 90? Had to be about 90. I have to do my search on that just to be sure.
I actually got it up, so let me see. Let the Rhythm Hit Him. It says 19. No, that's Follow the Leader. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, sorry. I can't go by off what this says. That doesn't make sense. We apologize. And again, this was
1990. It was 1990 for sure.
Yeah, and this was an example of, again, I felt like, Rakim was doing this thing, and it's not like these things weren't being cleverly put together. It's just that I just wasn't driven by the end result. I just wasn't a big fan of his production. I was one of those people when he ultimately hooked up with the Bomb Squad for Enough Respect Due. Not Enough Respect Due. That was a Big Daddy Kane song. He did what was his song called?
Know the Ledge.
Know the Ledge. Yeah, that was like I was like, thank you. He got hooked up with it, and when he hooked up with Primo, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, nah.
I
But
think it was rumored. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some research on it, but I heard that he actually produced "Know the Ledge."
oh, that was Bomb Squad. That was definitely Bomb Squad.
Ah,
Put it this
for
way,
real.
he might have
Yeah,
produced it like we talked about. But
yeah.
I mean, you can just hear it. Everything about that, all that stuff, that was way out of his sophistication.
You're right. You're 100% right.
No
No, no,
disrespect.
no, 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 no. He played a role in the production.
He may have. I'm not saying he didn't, but that was a bomb. The Bomb Squad was there on the production for that, because that was on the Juice album. That was on the Juice soundtrack, and the Bomb Squad produced that whole album. Well, actually,
Most of
they didn't produce the whole album. They produced. I know they produced the
they
Big Daddy
produced.
Kane song,
Yeah, they
and
sure
they
did.
produced
Yeah.
the Know the Ledge.
No, because no, they didn't. Because Teddy Riley, I did that one song. Is it good to you? That remix of it with the girl just singing herself.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was still
I think
heavily.
they executive. I think they executive produced it. Maybe that's what they
Yeah,
did, because I
that's
know that they had a big role in it. But they actually produced those songs. Know the Ledge, Enough Respect Due. And again, you could
they
feel
did a
their
whole lot
flavor.
of them. I mean, you're talking about the Juice soundtrack, right?
Yeah, the Juice soundtrack.
They did a lot of songs on there. Like they did some like R&B songs on there too. Because they did a lot of R&B production too.
They are one of my favorite, production collectives. I mean, what they did for PE. I mean, again, Nation. It takes a nation to hold us back. To me, it's the greatest hip hop album of all time. They were that crew. When they had the full complement. I know that one of the Sandlers bounced. Later in the game, and it wasn't quite the same collective. But shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the Bomb Squad. Spin that back. Hold on. Spin it back. All right, let's go on down the list on here. Number 2, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em album is No Omega. Now, Rakim went the hell off on this album. This song right here just was going off. Number
This
3.
this album, if I remember correctly, this album get like a 5 from the source?
Oh, I'm not sure. I wouldn't even.
Yeah, at least I saw that. I think I saw that on Wikipedia.
Probably
But
did. Yeah,
yeah.
probably did. That's probably one they went back and did, probably.
Oh, maybe that's the one they went back to.
Yeah, probably. Then in the ghetto was, oh my God, this shit was this was a hell of a song. It was dope, just dope. Just the beat and everything was just dope. And I think your boy has his hand in this song too, Large Professor.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they had that connection clearly because they took it to Coogee Rap, so they definitely had some type of connection. But I mean, that also explains the whole Paul C thing. So there's that connective tissue.
True. Then number 4 was Step Back. I remember this song. Man, it's a great album. Number 5, Eric B. Made My Day. I don't remember that song, but I'm
That's a
pretty sure
DJ
that was one
song.
of those. Yeah,
That was a DJ song.
that's
Again,
one of those.
salute to this brother that kept doing it. He's like, look, it's called Eric B and Rakim. I got to at least have a song where I'm just scratching and Rakim ain't saying nothing to keep that first billing. So,
Hey, spin that back for Eric B. All right, then we roll on to number 6 was Run for Cover. Rakim was going off there. Number 7, Untouchables. I don't really remember that. I have to listen to it. Oh, number 8, Mahogany. Oh
I
my
was waiting for you
God.
to say that. I mean, this brother was doing that smooth stuff. It's this. I'm telling you, when I went back and listened to this album, this is when I said, you know what? I don't know how much involved that Eric B was doing all this stuff, but you can clearly see that he's growing as a producer from the first album to the second album to the third album. To me, this is when he really kind of started really figuring stuff out. Even though he stumbled into a masterpiece with a Follow Leader and Microphone Fiend, but Microphone Fiend is mostly sample driven. We agree the production wasn't really the whatever. But this album, it's a different flavor.
Oh yeah,
It's real.
oh, yeah.
Just he did that.
What killed me about Mahogany was I loved everything about it. Number 1, my brother said, music is Al Green. I'm like, that's Al Green. Then I wouldn't heard the song. I'm like, what the heck? How they? What? I mean, it killed me. It was like, this is all. See, back in our days, we used to try to dig for people that we didn't really know.
Yeah.
Al Green, we was like, I ain't listening to no Al Green. Everybody heard Al Green. Don't listen to Al Green. Man, I heard that song. I'm like, what? It was right under my nose all this time. I'm like, what the hell? And how did they think to use this? But all that one sample was actually used, by MC Light, the drums, and a
Mhm.
whole lot of other
Paper
people
thin,
before
right?
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and of course Biggie, y'all know Biggie had used it for what was the story to tell? I think it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. That's a great point that you brought up. How there's a lot of albums that were in your collective, maybe parents had or something, but you didn't realize that this little gem was hiding on there. When you find out that it came from that song, you was like, man, because back in them days, you would be finding something, you'd be scared to kind of put it out there because you want to make sure it's yours, and not give it to somebody else to run with it. So,
In fact,
you know,
let's go back up to the number 3 on this track, "The Ghetto." The
uh,
drum line on that is Bill Withers, "Kissing My Love." Right under my nose all that time. Didn't know.
yeah, he has some stuff. He has some, man. Yeah. Salute to rest in peace to that brother. He died not too long ago, but yeah, he's got some stuff. He's got quite a discography.
Oh, Bill Withers. Yeah, spin that back. Yeah,
Soulful dude.
spin that back. If y'all ain't into Bill Withers, go listen to some Bill Withers. That's where your No Diggity came from.
Ain't
Yeah,
no sunshine.
ain't no
You
sunshine.
know,
Use Me. Oh my
use me.
God.
Oh goodness, yeah,
A Lovely Day. He got a
yeah,
collective. Yeah,
yeah.
he got a lot of stuff. Okay, let me get back to my man over here. Uh, Keep him eager to listen. I remember that one. Set him straight. And that's basically it. It was another one. Let the Rhythm Hit him, the 12-inch version, remix or whatever. So that don't really count. Okay.
A lot of this stuff wasn't on those actual albums. It's nice when you get these CDs now and they have all these bonus stuff like that, but you wasn't getting those originally back in the day.
That's right. Okay. Then you go to the next album, which is, let me actually bring up the picture before I actually go into it. Can I find it? Can I find it? Which one was it? Is it this one?
That was hold on. So it's Don't Sweat the Technique. I don't know if that was. I don't think that was the cover. Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think
that.
that was the
No,
cover.
I know for a fact that's not the cover. In fact, I had the cover here. Oh, actually, I do have it. It's up here. There you go. There you go. Don't Sweat the Technique, which probably has, to me. Well, let's go through the songs because it's a song on here. I'm gonna have to. In fact, it's the first. The title song, but we'll get to it. So number one was "What's on Your Mind."
Now, I played again. I had to go back. I had to go back and revisit this stuff. A lot of stuff I don't really remember. A lot of times, a confession I have to make is that if I heard a good album and there were certain songs that really gravitated to me, a lot of times I'd only play that. So I apologize if I didn't really give enough respect to the rest of the album and stuff like that. So a lot of great songs could steal me away from the album. But I went back with my mature, sophisticated, grown ear. And I'm telling you, I just feel like he really accomplished something production wise. It completely changed my outlook on Eric B. You know what I'm saying? Because he really did some things on this album. This first song to me sounds like a very singable song. Like this was the song to me that I was like, wow, they could have released this as a single. This was like a hit, so to speak. And this is Rakim, a hardcore underground, champion doing this song that I'm not gonna say it's a pop song, but it has, popability.
Yeah, I mean, once again, one of those songs that was under your nose. But this was the genius of Rakim. He used to take these R&B songs that was smooth, and it actually fit his style. That was his style. This song they used was "I'm Curious" from what was the name of the damn group? Midnight Star, actually, I think it was. Yeah, and it was like I would have never thought of using that. You know what I'm saying?
It was
It seemed like
smooth.
he was the one he was the one cat that was taking all these smooth R&B records and rapping over them, and it seemed like other cats wouldn't even touch this type of music.
It's my understanding he plays some type of a horn. I don't know if it was a saxophone or a trumpet,
I think it
but
was
the bottom.
saxophone.
But he talked about that he patterned a lot of his rhyme flows out of the rhythm of the saxophone. And I remember when he was explaining that to Karis One, and Karis One was like, that blew his mind. He goes, really? That explains a lot because his flow was very patterny musically, just it wasn't necessarily jumping up in octaves, but at least those patterny flows and stuff like that. It was like someone playing, so he was always a master of that smoothness.
Right. It was like Coltrane on the sax
That's
actually.
what it is, and that's literally the person that they juxtapose him to the most.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think I heard that too, actually. Okay, then number two was Teach the Children, which I don't remember. I don't think I actually was a fan of that song. Pass the Hand Grenade. I remember that song. He was
Yeah,
going off.
he was going off.
Casualties of War. He's still going off.
He was a
Rest
going off
assured.
kind of dude.
He was. Rest assured, I don't really remember too
Yeah,
much.
that's dope. I was listening to that, just thinking like, man,
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah,
yeah, you got
yeah. It's why I can't.
probably
Yeah,
gonna need to
it's
go
got-
back. I would definitely recommend everybody go back and visit this stuff. Even some of the stuff you may hear for the first time, some of the stuff you just need to hear with a more recent ear,
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just. But go
yeah.
ahead.
That's why they call him the God MC. Trust me, the man is the God MC. Number 6 is the Punisher. I know he going off on there too. I just don't really
Definitely,
remember
yeah.
it too
He
much.
was going. He was going off. It was dope. It was dope.
Then you got number 7, Relax with Pep.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And guess what sample he actually used for this?
What's that?
Funky Drummer.
Really?
He actually using the music. Not the drum.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it was chops. Okay, yeah.
Yep. It's
Way to go back to the original first song that you used. The first song that you did.
did he use Funky
Eric B for
Drummer?
president was used funky.
No, that wasn't Funky Drummer. That was
Not funky jump. It was the song we just talked about. What was the
that's not
song you just said?
Funky President. That's Funky
Funky,
President.
yeah,
Actually.
funky president.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Relax with Pep. That was a great song too. Just let y'all know. Go and visit that song. It's a great song. Keep the Beat. Was that another Eric B?
Okay, so no. Keep the Beat is the song that I posted on Facebook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Forgot about that.
Check
Yeah.
this out.
Oh yeah. That is. Oh God.
I'm gonna tell you
Oh
right
man.
now. So let me shout out my brother Simwalk the Second, okay? Because he said that's Rakim's sister singing on it. This song is an amazing song. When I heard it last night as I'm playing it, I'm thinking, how was this not the single? I understand that, the other song that the album's named after was a #1 song. So obviously they called that right. But it was an absolute travesty that they did not use this as a single, maybe as a follow-up to run with that heat that you established with a #1 song. Because I mean, it's a great song. Obviously, he's doing what he's doing, but Eric B was doing what he was doing, and every element came together. This is a fantastic song, a great song. I'm going to be bumping it in my car later on. That's what it is. But please go check that out. What's the song? What's the name of the song, El Poo?
Keep the Beat.
The Beat. Eric B and Rakim. This is on their final album together.
Don't sweat the technique. Track number 8, Keep the Beat. It's a great song. Oh yeah, great sample. Oh my God, it's
everything about
incredible.
it. Everything.
Incredible.
It came together like Voltron. That's all I got to say. You just got to hear it. I mean, I was blown away that this wasn't a staple of music when I was listening to it last night. Going, who failed to promote this properly?
For real. In fact, the whole album, to me, that whole album I felt wasn't promoted properly. It didn't get the shine that it needed.
They were probably so happy the fact that they had a #1 song and Don't Sweat the Technique. They probably felt like they did everything they need to do. But you could, if they were professionals at having hits, they'd have known that you could milk an album for more than just one hit.
Right. And Keep the Beat to me reminded me of Mahogany Part 2 in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics about that. And again, the subject matter, everything about it. This was one of the coolest, most kind of gangstery, tough dudes that didn't have no problems with coming at you smooth and spitting at the ladies and just doing what he did. So, shout out to Ra.
Then number 9 was a song called What's Going On. Yeah, I remember that one a little bit. What's happening, brother? Hey, bro. Yeah, I remember that part. Then there was Know the Ledge, which was that big song.
I mean, again, I want to say that my favorite two songs are Microphone Fiend and Follow the Leader, but it's hard for me to not acknowledge this song with a great producer, with a great MC, and it coming together in a great way. This is a flawless song. This is an amazing song, and it's definitely my favorite song from the Juice soundtrack.
Yeah, that and the Big Daddy song to me.
Yeah,
Though,
Know the Ledge. Yeah, both of
well,
them they're
actually,
up there.
you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I love the Juice soundtrack. I think that's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time because there was so many damn songs on there. They wasn't all on the radio, but there was some great songs.
You
But
know, that's a classic movie for us, and it's always great when you have a classic soundtrack to
mhm.
follow with a classic movie. One of more immortalized one of our hip hop greats, and Master Tupac. But it is what it is. But and then, like, hey, they were they were having a DJ contest in the movie. It was a crappy DJ contest, but still, the fact that they went there, I salute it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, know the ledge, and then don't sweat the technique. Did that was a number one song, or was it
It,
know
it
the
went
ledge?
it went a number one song. It was a number one number one song on the charts. I don't remember which chart it was, but I mean MTV could not get enough of this song, which I love the fact that they were supporting the brother because this is like his fourth album. He's already on Rushmore for me, and then for him to get in that play and blow up. But part of me was like, like, yo, this is this brother from the nation with all these white women dancing in the video. It
Hey,
wasn't lost on me, you know what I'm saying? That it was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But it helped maybe help it be received by them because I mean it was their greatest, it was probably their greatest financial hit, so to speak. I'm just gonna guess.
well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna say some things about this record. Right around the same time, well, maybe a year after, maybe or right around the same time, NWA dropped the song "Real Niggas." Used the exact same beat. They sure did. Cool in the Gang. What's the name of the damn song? I can't think of the name of the damn song, but it's
You're
a
talking
Cool in the
about the
Gang.
drum or is it like the sample with the
It's the
music?
drum and the music.
Hmm.
If you really gotta pay attention to it, you gotta
Yeah.
know the song first of all. If you know the
Uh-huh.
song, and then you hear all the elements because it's really the horns
Yeah.
and the drums. But go back and listen to them both. You have to really listen, and then you
Yeah.
got to listen to the original song. I forgot the name of the damn song right now. Why is it escaping me? But anyway, the next song after that on the album, number 12, is "Kick Along." But I'm gonna go ahead and find out the name of this damn "Cool in the Gang" song real
Yeah,
quick.
I'm telling you that kick along song. I was banging that this morning, and I mean it's he's going off. That's see, you gotta understand something. My first foray into hip hop is being a break dancer. So my first element that I embrace is the dancing. I like music that makes you dance. I like hip hop dancing, dancing. I was never one of those people. You got to be too cool to dance. Figure it out. So, and I'm just telling you, I love it. High energy hip hop at the fast pace, and these dudes just flowing because Big Daddy Kane was one of those dudes that really do that. He did that, like what was that song called? Uh, Set It Off. You know what I'm saying? It's just at the pace where he's just flowing. He's just spitting, and he's just not ashamed to come at you at that speed. So
Right,
Rakim was a master of the slow stuff, the slow smooth stuff, and he was still a master of killing you with the fast, just lyrical onslaught type stuff. So
right.
again, Rushmore.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely on the Rushmore. He's probably number one on the Rushmore. Let's put it up there one time.
Yeah.
But anyway, the name of the Cool in the Game song is called "Give It Up." It's off their first album back in 1969. But anyway, now after that they actually broke ways, so it just became Rakim, and then Eric B went off and did some other work. In fact, he had an album called Eric B back in 1995. I don't think anybody even knows anything about this album, honestly, because
Yeah,
I really
I should have I should have listened to it. I saw that existed. I didn't know it existed. But yeah, I mean, but I know that he did some things because again, he was as a producer, he was involved in some stuff. You're talking about that Coogee rap album, So and there may be some dispute about how much of the production was him, but I mean, he was an aspect of it. I mean, the fact that he was credited for it, he played some role in all of this stuff. So,
Yeah.
salute to salute to Eric B, the legendary Eric B.
Oh yeah, the legendary Eric B. Let's put that down. And one thing about Eric B is Eric B always been quiet. You know, everybody know he's a G. Let's just say it like that. People that know. And one thing about Eric B too is he was running. You know, he was head of Death Row East for what that's worth. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Eric B is known and respected from coast to coast in this hip hop game. You know, and he was talking. He wasn't even talking about it, but he was rolling a Rolls Royce back in the '80s.
Yeah, that's what he used to combat when Wendy Williams was saying when him and Wendy Williams was together. Wendy Williams let out one of those sort of like kind of I don't say a documentary, but basically how Salt and Pepper did like a recreation of their beginnings and stuff like that. Wendy Williams had one of those on Lifetime as well, and she definitely was kind of dogging Eric B out because they had a relationship for quite some time,
Mm.
and he put a picture of that Rolls Royce to show that he had money before her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, spin that back because yeah, Eric B been into the money game.
he
So
was in them streets.
yeah, he was in the streets. In the streets. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So shout out to Eric B and Rakim. You know, they still doing their thing. And for anybody that thinks that these older rappers shouldn't be rapping, shame on you because these older cats got something to say. They got something to teach you. You need to be sitting down and listening and learning, trying to figure out, how they made it this long, and hope that you can get there.
yeah. Yeah, it's an accomplishment. And the thing about it is there's a whole bunch of music out there that's not for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But it might be for somebody else. So again, it's not, he had a line on there, Rakim, on one of those songs from that album. He said, don't worry about the grosses or don't be obsessed about what the gross is, but I'm still coming ferocious. Actually, I take that back. That's going to be the next album that we're about to talk about.
Okay, what is it? What is
That's going to be the 18th letter. So now this is Rakim. They broke up. They went on to doing their own separate things.
Mm-hmm.
So Rakim found himself one of the greatest producers of hip hop and of all time, Primo, and did magic, did just classic stuff. So you're talking about you're gonna pull up that album, 18th letter. So half of that album, to my recollection, was sort of like a greatest of. So it was just some other stuff, but the other half was like new material that that Primo produced. And the first single from that album was "Been a Long Time." And I'm telling you, this was a song that really hit me emotionally because I already had love for the pioneers that kind of paved the way and did something like that. And then for him to come back way late in the game and drop such a masterful song and just lean into the fact that, people were seeing me on the streets and asking me, when's the next song dropping? It's been a long time, sorry I kept you, that he was playing into all of that stuff. And he's like, and here you go. And this was just a masterful song. And I remember he was performing at the House of Blues. I went to see him. And, I used to go dolo, you know what I'm saying? I just go there and just be in the crowd, just listening to the music. I want to see what these, because House of Blues is one of my favorite places to go to. And I was there and Ice-T was there. And that entire concert, Ice-T was sitting about 10 feet away from me, just posted up like I was posted. And I'm telling you, when Rakim gets to the part where, I said it before, I came through the door, but now I'm not down with Eric B. I'm the crowd went wild. Like, they like, Eric B. Like, he's not down with Eric B no more. It's just like, everybody just went crazy. And I'm just saying, it was a magical moment. I'm just saying you had to be there. But that's what hip hop gave us. It just gave us those moments. And I'm just telling you, Rakim, Eric, Ice-T was sitting there in the crowd. There was no way that Rakim could hear Ice-T from the whatever. But Ice-T was like, you Rakim, you doing that, you like whatever. Just, that was just straight, just a human being to the next human being connecting. So that'll always been one of my great memories. So,
All right. Yeah, here's that album cover right here, the 18th letter, just so y'all know. Stumble across this, check it out. Rakim, the God, MC. Yes, sir. So we coming close to the edge of this, bro. So let's go ahead and shut that down one time. Hey, you got some more stuff out there. Go ahead.
Before we do, let's just point you to the Master. Because
yes, sir.
He did a song, he did an album after that called The Master. And honestly, I never heard about it. It wasn't until the research for this that I found out. And there's some heaters on that. So go check that out. But this is all sort of like prep because he's supposed to be dropping an album. I think soon. So that's gonna be great. And I think the Primo and Nas is supposed to be dropping the album. Can't wait to hear that too. So salute to the OGs. Yeah, exactly. Salute to the OGs and the pioneers of our time, especially those within the spin that back era that is still keeping it spinning. So let me pass that back to you.
Yes, sir. In fact, let's go ahead and shut it on down at this time. And we'd like to thank y'all for joining us in for another one of those Spin That Back shows. We'll be here next Saturday at the same time, 10:30, right here on the Focus Up Network. Right after the Focus Up show, that's at 9 o'clock Pacific time, Saturday morning. Go ahead and check us out. In fact, if you ain't here, drop us a like, hit that subscribe button, and share too. Let the people know. Hey, we enjoy y'all. We hope y'all enjoyed us. Hope to see you back too. Yes, sir. And we are out of here.